Hello, YouTube fans. Man of my word, I said I do fancy Palmer, and I do. This being from the book as well as the film. And like First Blood, I'm going to do a comparison. Yep, I'm going to do a comparison. That being Carrie. Now, at the time, Stephen King was just starting out, writing a book, writing another book. So he did the book Carrie. Didn't think it was going to be a good book, and he threw it in the bin. I'm not joking. He threw it in the bin. Out of luck, Stephen King's wife found the book, read it, and said, "What are you doing throwing this in the bin? This is a good book." So he decided to publish it, it became a big seller, and the rest is history. Stephen King became a day horror writer, and the book became a big seller. And the rest is history. So you've got the scene where they're playing hockey, played by well-known actors, being Sissy Spacek, and she gets picked on a lot. She does get picked on. She gets because she messes up on a hockey game, and all the dudes are picking on her. And then it starts up with a famous shower scene. That reminds me of Debbie Does Dias, a porno, because you've got loads of naked girls in the shower. But it's not hard to do with that. Then you've got Carrie herself, and she's had a period. No, it's not dirty girls do it. Women do it. I don't know because I'm a man. But she has a period and she panics, and the girls make fun of her. They've seen it, we're going, stir it up, and they're throwing tampons at her. Now, the teacher is a sports teacher, sees that, tries to calm her down, and slaps her. So she wouldn't get away with that now, but again, it's an old film. You do get a love letter of Psycho, where it's root, root, and something smashes. So you think, what the hell's going on there? But, it's from the book Stephen King, and there's a lot of Psycho music in it, and the reason why they used the Psycho music is because Fancy Palmer was big fans. I'm not just saying this. He was big fans of Alfred Hitchcock, so he does use a lot of Alfred Hitchcock in this. You've got one dude who's a bit bitsy and slutter, played by a well-known actress, that being Nancy Iron. Don't know who Nancy Iron is? Think of Robotop, and she was also in another Fancy Palmer film, that being Death to Kill. Um, so it's a good film. You do feel sorry for Carrie because she does also have a religious mum who's definitely religious. Because she found out about her having a period, she goes home and what does the mum do? What does the mum do? Hits her with the Bible. She literally slaps her daughter with the Bible and locks her in a room. There's a bit where it's a bit debut now. You've got an ornament of Jesus with blood down its eye, and I'm thinking, did you really get away with that? But, it's taken off a book. But there's bits in it where she's moving things about with her mind. There's a bit where there's a lad, before this happened, there was a lad making fun of her. Cheapy Tally, cheapy Tally. Uses her powers, you get that Psycho music again. Woot woot. Knocks him down, and Carrie's thinking, well, I'm moving things with my mind. And then she finds out by going to the library that she's got Tally to pieces. At times I think it's a bit over the top, that she can move things, knock people over, because real life, Tally to pieces, you can move things with the mind that is made up, but you cannot kill people or hurt people. But it's a book again, and I do know again because the book was a big hit in parts of America. The book was banned. I'm not joking, the book was banned, and there's bits what they had to miss out from the film version. But believe it or not, Stephen King is a lover of this. And normally Stephen King does not like the movie versions of his books, believe me on that. But in this one, he liked it. He liked it. You do get Don Travolta, who makes his first movie appearance. He did a film before this called The Bubble. It's more of a TV film. But it wasn't really his biggest film, really. We did bigger films, let's say, like Saturday Night Fever. One year after that being Cheeks. But in this, is he really a likeable character? Is he really a likeable character? Because when you think about it, this is a guy what speeds, drinks beer when he's driving his car, and even slaps his girlfriend. So he's definitely not a nice character. And there's a funny bit in it because what happened is, right, because they picked on Carrie, you got one dude out of them all who feels guilty. The only one dude that feels fucking guilty. And she sets it up that her boyfriend takes Carrie out to a prom, right? Played by another date actor, William Schenk. You know who he is? Think of the original House. I reviewed it, as well as the House series. So she sets it up for him to take her to the prom. And the sports teacher at all, she's pissed off. She's saying, look, you picked on Carrie, it was a shitty thing, which she does say that. She punishes them by making them do a lot more sport. And Nancy Iron, being a total bitch, says she can stick it up your ass. And she gets a slap, and rightly so, because her character in this, not only is she slutter, she's a tumpy and utter bitch. So there's a funny bit where she's basically giving John Travolta a blowjob. And I'm thinking, how the hell can you talk and do that? But she does, and she says a funny line, I hate Carrie White. So there's a bit in it where she gets John Travolta to do something. Basically, it's to kill pigs. That's right, it's to kill pigs. You don't see it, but it's off steam. And you know the film Carrie. You know the film Carrie. There's a dog barking, but eventually it'll shut up. But yeah, she gets him to not kill Carrie, but basically get a revenge on Carrie. That's what the dog barking. He kills pigs, and he's got the idea to use blood. If you remember the book, it was taken from that book. So she's going to the pond. You've got an idea that girl is getting jealous because she's taken her boyfriend out to the pond. And the cheater thinks that, but it's not, because what it is, she sees the bucket with the string on it, right? She's about to pull the bucket. She gets locked in the door, and I love the way it's angled. It's angled because you don't want anything now to happen to Carrie. She's getting her confidence. She was picked on before. She's now confident. She's taken a boy out. She thinks she's now popular. Lo and behold, the bucket, as we all know in the film Carrie, the bucket of blood falls all over Carrie. I love the way it's angled though. It's pretty good shots because it streams here. And I love the way her eyes are like that. Eyes like that. There's bits where it goes red. So you get another dude you might remember who was in the original Halloween. He wears a trap in it all the way through it. So the one who always said, totally. But again, she's basically a bully in this. She gets killed and she kills everybody. She literally kills everybody. But I just think it's such a beautiful shot the way it's done. She does it like that. And she's staring like that. And there's bits here what's moving here. And there's bits what's moving there. And I'm thinking, how the hell can you kill people? Okay, she's stuffy. She had these powers, go salad to peace tits. But you can't do that in real life, people. But again, it's a film. So the stool's on fire and she's walking out. The dirt's locked in the cellar, manages to get out. Now there's a bit where John Travolta and Nancy Iron is about to run Carrie over. But again, she turns the car round and makes the car blow up and kills them both. She literally kills them both. She meets the mum and the mum tries to stab Carrie. Because what it is, she basically had Carrie because she had intercourse, and she thinks intercourse is a sin. Which intercourse, as you know in real life, that ain't the case. So she tries to kill Carrie, and she rams knives on the mother, stabs her, pins her on the wall, and then the house caves in. And a walk, it's Carrie, and she dies. And you think that's sad. You didn't want Carrie to die. She just got a confidence and everything, and you know she was badly picked on, and it's sad that she died. It was sad. But this is the one where you remember the scene, the girl lives, right, and she's walking. There's a funny bit where the cars are going backwards, and they've always been a debut was that accidental, but I always thought there had to be something going on here. And the famous scene where she puts the flowers near the grave, the hand comes out and gets her hand, and you think, whoa, what's going on here? And then next thing you know, it was a nightmare. Now I admit, when I first saw that, it made me jump out of my fucking skin. Honestly, I literally jumped when I saw that scene with the hand coming out. But until you find out it was a nightmare. And I do know it inspired a lot of other horror films. You know, it inspired Friday the 13th with the famous jump scare, the boat scene. It inspired a lot of other horror films with that well-known jump scare. So I do carry for that. I do know they made a sequel. Wasn't as good. They made a TV sort of remake film, don't bother. And the remake definitely don't bother because it's a piece of shit. But the original Carrie, the original one, it's a dudder. It's a dudder, you know, by Stephen King, the book, and by Francis Palmer. The book was a little bit different because in the books, she had these powers that could make things explode, and she could read your mind, and she could read what you're thinking, things like that. And there was a lot of other things in the book that they couldn't put in the film because it was too disturbing. So some of the book was banned in other parts of America, and others it wasn't. But the film version, Stephen King was a big lover of it, and I can see why. It's a Dudden Carrie, you know, from 1976. It made Frances Palmer a proper name. I do love the bits where they get the big blood on her and she's getting a revenge by staring on everybody. Now, there was another film similar to that called Evil Speak. Never seen Evil Speak? That's a good one because it's a similar story. The only difference is it's a lad who gets picked on. Then there's another film where that person gets killed by powers, goes sell it to pieces. But that's called The Psychic Killer. The Psychic Killer, though, is more of a psycho who kills people with those powers. Again, in real life, you can't use powers, you can't move things, you can't kill people and all that. But because it's a film, I went with it. And I just love the way it's shot. I do love bits where it goes red and it's got big blood all over. And you do feel sorry for Carrie. There's a bit where she's washing herself before she died and she's crying. So you didn't want that to happen, and for the mum to die and kill Carrie, it's pretty sad. So you feel sorry for the character. So it's a sad film, but it's a good film. It's psychological, it's suspenseful, and it's a classic. So for that, 6-star rating, shot in 1976. That is Carrie by Best Director, that being Francis Palmer and Stephen King. That's Carrie. Until then, I'll see you soon.